Hey, Janelle. I want everyone to make sure that you like the video on the way in. While everyone's coming in, I'm going to tell you to shop lavidarosastyle.com where you can find cute accessories like the ones I'm wearing right now, as well as these handmade wire rings and so much more. Make sure you check out the website. And if you haven't seen my reviews for Love is Blind and The Ultimatum, make sure you check that out. They are on my channel. Um Also, if y'all didn't know, Love is Blind is supposed to be coming back, I believe, on the 22nd. So I'm excited about that. We will be talking about that. Um yeah, I'm trying to see, is there anything else? I'm excited for a new season and a new cast because this one, oh my goodness, they wore out their welcome, child. Hey, Paris. So yeah, I'm ready for the new season. The Ultimatum was a little bit lackluster. We'll get into that, but I'm gonna see what y'all opinion is of the show. I had to put a pillow up under my butt. Boy, it got a little hard, but yeah, I don't know. I think reality TV and like these shows, especially after the first couple of seasons, they get a little generic. They're not as authentic as they once were. Um, have you heard the Nick from season 2 was suing Netflix? I heard about some grievances. Let me make sure I know who you're talking about, first of all, because I did hear about some grievances that cast members have had. Let me see. Find. Yeah, I remember the girl he was married to. I forgot her name, but I saw her make some TikToks about the conditions of Love is Blind and um just feeling like they play, they didn't, they used information that they gained from her mental evaluation and they used it against her while she was on the show. So it doesn't shock me that he's suing because I guess he saw that stuff firsthand through her. So it was, I think people don't want to come off as a villain on social media, so they don't do too much on these shows. Yeah, I agree with that too. Um I wonder if Lauren and Cameron feel the same way. I don't know. I don't know, that's a good question. I don't really keep up with Lauren and Cameron like I used to. I do know they have a YouTube channel and I see Lauren hosting things from time to time on like MTV. Um, yeah, I don't know. I wonder. Cause I don't know. I would think that Lauren and Cameron would have a bigger presence on like the show or maybe like like them hosting a little bit. I don't, maybe not the reunion, but I don't, shoot, I probably would like them as hosts better than Nick and what you call it. But now that you mention it, I just don't see them associated with the show as much. So maybe they do feel away. I remember that whole article about Love is Blind. It was a sad read. Dang, I need to read that. Because no one from season 2 is together. That says a lot. True. That is true. But before I didn't really want to talk about Love is Blind first. I wanted to go ahead and get the ultimatum out of the way. I don't know. I want to do this live because I want to see what y'all had to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with, hold on, y'all. I think I heard something. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, y'all. I let's go ahead. Let's talk about Nick and Vanessa first. I was gonna talk about them later, but let's talk about them because they host both of these shows, and I'm just like, why? Do they have like a contract? I don't know if y'all would know this, but do they have like a contract that they have to host Love is Blind and the Ultimatum for so many years? Because I know they see the people saying how much they don't like them as hosts, but they continue to make them hosts. Then again, could it be something like, even though they're not getting good feedback, is feedback? Like they're still like, people are still talking about them. The same way like on Real Housewives of Potomac, like nobody like a lot of people didn't like Candace, but she still was trending every week. People didn't like Kenya for a long time on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she was trending every week. So they're not going anywhere because they still get the people talking. I don't know who thought of them to host these shows. They host all these. Exactly. I don't know why. Why? Now, I do think that I heard that they came up with the concept of the ultimatum. So maybe that makes a little bit more sense. And they are a little bit less insufferable on that show, but not for the reunion. Like, if y'all are going to have them, don't let them host a reunion. Give somebody that knows what they're doing to host a reunion, because they do not ask the right questions. And then they have their favorites and then they go easy on people. Like that is not what we need at the reunion. They add nothing. They just don't bring anything of interest to these shows. It's annoying. Exactly. Vanessa is toxic because she enables bullying behavior. Exactly. And this is alleged, but I heard that she was very like catty and like a mean girl behind the scenes. I don't know how true that is. But I wouldn't be surprised because she does like uphold that behavior. We need someone with no ties to host the reunion. True. And I just don't think a husband and wife needs to host. Like, is that just me? Like, why is a husband and wife hosting? Like, y'all trying to throw in, y'all not giving good advice. Like, I could see if they were like a husband and wife that's been married for 30 years and they're giving good advice. Or I can't remember one time where they've given advice and it's been good and like, oh yeah, I appreciate them chiming in at that time. No, like exact Nick just sits there and he'll laugh for a second. He might say something that's like inconsequential to the conversation, like a dad joke. Vanessa, she always talks over him. I see why he don't say much. Vanessa gonna talk over him. She talk over everybody else too. It's like, can we not? With no ties, but have actually, yes. Why does it come off like they don't actually watch the show, especially at the reunion? Like, do y'all even know what happened? Because y'all are not asking the right questions. Y'all are not, like, even as a viewer, there's certain things that you would want to know. That, like, even me, I'm not a professional host. Like, I don't know how to ask, whatever questions. But as a viewer, there are certain things that I want to know. Therefore, I would ask the question because that's just something that was missing during the season. So I need some clarity. And they don't even ask those type of questions. Do they even give advice? They're just there. Exactly. They're literally, they just bring up the next topic or introduce the next segment. And that's that. Because exactly, they don't add anything. How Nina is for loving him. Exactly. Nina is a great host because she's going to ask the questions that people want to hear. And yeah, it might get somebody riled up and fired up, but she don't mind asking it anyway. But she also asks it in a way that her tone is not disrespectful, like she's professional. and I like the way she hosts. Um, Shoot, Andy on the Housewives, he's a better host. Even though he gets on my nerves with the way he hosts sometimes, but at least he'll ask the questions. And if y'all don't want to ask the questions yourself, do like they do on the Housewives reunion and come up with some good questions and put somebody else's name on it. Well, I guess they can't do that because unless they do a live reunion like they did this last time. But because I was just thinking, like, if they pre-record the reunion, they can't like say Chelsea from Texas asked this question because Chelsea from Texas hasn't seen it yet. But if y'all do a live reunion, y'all can do that. Since y'all so scared to ask the question yourself, the only thing Vanessa seems interested in is when someone is going to have a baby. Child. Exactly. Why do they be trying to force? Y'all see these relationships are toxic. Y'all see these relationships don't make any sense and these people do not belong together, but yet you trying to force a baby on them. But I'm be honest with y'all, that's just like real life. That's how people do in real life. They'll still try to push you together, still try to force you to have a baby, knowing this relationship is toxic and a baby is only gonna make it worse. If they're going to be scared to ask the important questions, that's exactly what I just we on the same page with that. I like Keisha Knight pulling. Yes, Keisha does a great job with the after parties on Married at First Sight. They need to study her because I feel like she does a good job of making people comfortable, but also holding them accountable. I really do. Like, she does a really good job with that. Yes, Andy does it, and those be his questions. You can't tell me Andy didn't come up with them questions himself. The way he be so giddy delivering them, and even if they got somebody behind the scenes to like come up with some messy questions, like we want to know, and y'all sitting up here having them answer like who is their hall pass. Don't nobody care. We don't even know them that well. We don't even like them like that to really want to know their hall passes. Really? And then they give lame answers like Ryan Reynolds. Like that's why I didn't care in the first place. With miscarriages, infertility issues, pushing a baby is insensitive and offensive. I agree. I do agree with that. Because who was they trying to force to have a baby? Um Shoot, it's every reunion, but I'm trying to it was some person, some couple that were trying to force to have a baby and it was just doing too much. I think it was the last reunion. Was it Tiffany and Brett? I can't remember, but it was just like y'all are going overboard with that. It don't even take all that. Do Nick and Jessica have kids? I don't know nothing about them. It was Tiffany. Yeah, I was thinking it was Tiffany and Brett. And like I'm not gonna lie, on my last review, it crossed my mind like it would be so cute to see them have a baby now because they seem like they're solid and they seem like they have a decent relationship. But I would never get on camera and be like, oh, it's time for y'all to have babies. I don't know where you are in your fertility journey. Maybe they are trying to have kids and it's, you know, not working for them right now. You know, it could be anything. They have 3 kids. Okay. I would have never known. I have no interest in them. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to the ultimatum. That's what I meant to do in the first place. But let's move on to the ultimatum. I just want to know, do y'all have any, like, what do y'all have to say about these couples at the end of the day? I'm going to go ahead and start with these two, Alex and Kat, because, well, to preface everything, none of these couples need to be together. Not one. I think we all can agree on that. I think that Kat is just willing to settle into being the housewife and, you know, doing whatever Alex wants her to do, take care of the kids, have the babies, be the soccer mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like she is gonna fall right into that role. I think, he realized that Kat was gonna be the perfect woman to do that. Once he ran into a woman like Roxanne that he couldn't roll over, he realized that what he had with Kat is exactly what he was looking for as far as a partner. Because he couldn't handle being with a woman like Roxanne. So he realized that he that's what he wanted at the end of the day, and Kat is more than willing to play that role for whatever reason. She does need to find a backbone. She does, because I don't care. I don't care what he said, or how Kat was trying to defend him or whatever. The same way that Roxanne was talking about Alex is the same way that he was talking about you. Cause she sure felt comfortable talking crazy about Antonio to him. And he basically was saying the same thing. I didn't care for any of them, only watched them through your recaps. I can't even say that I blame you. Hassan, I will not say that. And if you keep saying what you're saying, I'm going to put you on timeout. Alex and Kat's dynamic is similar to Roxanne. It's a mirror image of each other. It's just the genders are swapped. It's pretty much the same. Kat is a nurse. Most of them aren't the best at picking significant others. How are you gonna generalize nurses like that? But you know what? The nurses that I know aren't the best at picking partners. I don't mean to generalize, but that's crazy that you said that. Shout out to all the nurses. Um, Kat needs a backbone and needs to get a life outside of Alex. I totally agree. Narcissists prey on nurses. Girl, do we need to do a deep dive into that? Because I did not know that. Maybe y'all can enlighten me to it. But when you said that, it did make me think about the nurses that I know, and I'm just like, I know some nurses like Kat. I know plenty of nurses. Is it the nurturing thing aspect of being a nurse? I don't, but you're right for some of them. I'm not gonna say all. Um a girl, I work in a hospital. I've seen it. Oh my goodness. Roxanne was just meaner about it. Alex came off very narcissistic. I totally agree. Nurses have limited time to develop discernment. LOL. For real though, you're right. Cause in college, like they don't have time for anything else but studying. I was a nursing major at the beginning, and I realized it wasn't for me. And I was like, I can't do this. I think it's a nurturing personality. I could see it. The positive is Kat doesn't have to work full time now. I, I mean, I guess you got to take the good where you can, child. Like I guess I personally, I personally wouldn't want to trade that off. Like basically somebody ruling my life and talking to me crazy and treating me like the scum of the earth. But I guess let's move on. Now, Roxanne. My thing about Roxanne, even though I appreciate her boss nature, she sells pasties. And I really thought she was running a Fortune 500 company. Like I thought she was moving and shaking on Wall Street. Like I really thought that Roxanne was a woman in STEM, or I thought Roxanne was doing something that was gonna like we was gonna see her on the Forbes list soon. The way she talking about working from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. Like team no sleep, hustling day and night. Most of us went to school for nursing at one point. I think so too. Was anyone else shocked that Antonio is Puerto Rican? You know, when I learned the difference between race and ethnicity, none of that shocks me anymore. His name, with that name, I assumed he was Italian, but him being Puerto Rican, I could see it. Roxanne made being a girl boss into her whole personality. Exactly. I'm just like, girl, this is your conversation. Every conversation you have to talk about work, 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 work. Every conversation. And then whenever they asked her what she did, she almost acted like she was embarrassed that she sold pasties. Like she wasn't even proud of it. Like, girl, as much as you talk about work, but if you notice when she talked about work, she didn't say what she did. She just was talking about work. And she hates Antonio. She for sure hates Antonio. Antonio, get out. She hates your stinking guts. You're the scum between her toes in her mind. That's the way she treats you. She wore a ring on every finger at that reunion except for her ring finger. That was on purpose. She was trying to embarrass you. She was trying to emasculate you. I don't care what excuse she came up with. She does not like you. And I feel like if he was a woman and she was a man, we would say that she was abusing him. We would verbally, emotionally, the way she treats him and he just runs behind her and asks for more. A business is a business, but I'm not gonna lie and say I was expecting something else. Look, I need that work ethic. I'm not mad at that. It's just the way that she was talking. Child, you would have thought she was patenting some groundbreaking inventions. Right. How does Roxanne put a post saying she wears rings now because it makes Antonio happy on Insta, but at the reunion, she was like, no, no, she doing the same type of backpedaling Lisa's doing. She should sponsor Rihanna. What? She was like Gina from Married at First Sight. Exactly. Did she come on this show just to promote her business? Let me, because you're doing too much, sir. I did watch the reunion, and the way she treated Antonio and minimized being engaged was extremely embarrassing. Yes. Yes. Antonio's her doormat. Yes. For sure. That is emotional and mental abuse. I think Antonio desires for someone like Roxanne to accept him. That's why he lets her walk all over him. Possibly. But Roxanne likes to control. And the reason why he got so upset with Alex saying what he said is because he knew it was true and that wasn't the first time somebody told him that. And low key, he needs help because remember when he said that he smoked for like 3 years straight or 6 years straight? You have some things that you're running away from in your life because anytime you escape like that or you're trying to escape like that, it's something you're running away from and you need to address it because you're dealing with this woman and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like he's doing everything he can to live up to her standard of being a boss and having money. He owns a car wash and he wants to he wants to make a franchise. He's taking those steps and it's still not enough. It's almost like she finds the perfect opportunity to embarrass him. I felt bad for him at the reunion. She definitely is emotionally abusive. For sure. Antonio needs to know his worth. Good Lord, have some dignity. He got a business because she has one and it still isn't enough. Exactly. To be fair, Antonio sees Roxanne as a savior based on his past and addiction problem. Yeah, that's why he needs help. Clearly, he has an addictive personality. What did Alex say? Therapy. These people always need therapy. But he does. Let me go ahead and move on, y'all. I don't want to be here all night. Speaking of somebody that needs help, because I found it very disturbing that he admitted on this show that he self-harmed. Like he cut himself, he would beat himself up as a child. He talked about that. He admitted that. It was a huge revelation. They didn't even touch on it at the reunion, but they're going to play a clip of him being burned with hot wax and liking all this S&M and submissive type of stuff. Hello, do y'all not see the correlation between that and self-harm? Now, I'm not saying that for everyone that does that, it's associated with trauma. But I'm sorry, that correlation was a little bit too strong for me. And we're sitting up here laughing and joking and thinking that's cute. First of all, it wasn't sexy at all. So I don't know why y'all played it in the first place. But that was sick. His mother did a number on him. I also wanted to know, like, what is your relationship with your mother? Like, because I know she saw that. I know she saw the fact that, she neglected him and that he didn't grieve his father in a healthy way and he was always alone. I wanted to know that. And the fact that they used that as promo. Exactly. It was sick. All of it was disturbing. Yes, that was very disturbing to me. And yeah, it also showed me he don't need to be in nobody's relationship either, because she should not have to bear the responsibility of all of that trauma. And he's not, especially if he's not getting help for it. They need a psychiatrist to host these shows. Exactly. I really like Ryan, and I think she deserves a healthy partner. If they stay together, therapy needs to be the partner. Exactly. Also, somebody brought up high school relationships. I agree. I am not a proponent of, I don't know if I use that word right, but I am not an advocate of people getting together after high school, being high school sweethearts, and staying together. I don't agree with that. I think at some point y'all need to break up for a good, let's say 6 months to a year, and grow individually, because y'all get stuck in these relationships from high school. The grass looks greener on the other side because y'all only know each other. Y'all have only been with each other. It did not shock me that he had cheated on her, because I'm telling you, that's how those relationships go. Somebody gonna cheat because your friends out here dating, going to college, experiencing life. You gonna want to see what it's like to be with somebody else. That's probably where he got all that S&M stuff from, and got her being all freaky and stuff. And she only been with him. She don't know no different. And then y'all get together, y'all get married, or like him, he's stringing her along for years. Because I know relationships like that where they've been together since high school and he don't want to get married. He ain't trying to propose. They might as well be common law at this point. Or y'all do get married, and by the time y'all get married, y'all probably be together for 2 years and break up, because at somebody y'all probably growing in different directions. Or one person wants to be the same and doesn't like that the other person is growing. They want to still view them as that same person who was 16 when y'all met, and that doesn't make any sense for someone to be 16 at 25. I have to grow. I'm sorry. Interests change. Times change. Like, come on. There's no solid foundation built on. High school relationships are typically codependent. True. Because it's like you can't really stand on your own, because you constantly have to worry about this other person, even if you want to be independent. I think he said he's in therapy now. Good. I really hope he is. Definitely not. So many men want to make women in their lives a therapist, and it's not our job. I totally agree. Especially for something as serious as that. Yes, I almost gag when I think of the guys I thought was attractive back in high school. Okay, your interests change. Oh my goodness. the guys that I liked in high school, actually, I can't go too hard on that subject because I'm with somebody that I liked in high school. But we dated other people, right? When I went to college, we dated other people, and then we circled back when we became adults, and when it made sense. And so that's why I'm such an advocate for living, because I feel like had we stayed together, I don't know if we would be together right now, right? But I had to live a little, he had to live a little, and now it makes more sense. And we both like who the person grew into, whereas being stuck on who we were when we were kids. Goals, dream, all that changed. Hence why there's cheating and temptation. Exactly. They haven't been alone to know what their independence look like. Honestly, I think people shouldn't get married until 30. You know, I don't know if I necessarily all the way agree, but I definitely think your early 20s, I don't think nobody should be getting married before 25, cuz your brain is not even developed before then. Your brain isn't even developed. Like your frontal lobe. you know, but there are some people, they get married at an early age and it works out. There's an exception to all of this. So I'm not trying to say that it could never work, but a lot of times it don't. Numbers don't lie. I'm sure if you look up the statistics, 21 enjoying single life. I feel like at 21 you for sure should be enjoying life, and don't lock yourself down just yet. Okay, let's move on. I don't know if y'all have heard the news, but Raya and Trey are expecting. I believe at this point she's 4 months pregnant. And yeah, I don't think that they're married yet. I don't know what their marriage plans are. I don't know if that's going to hold things up or what. But I will say the last thing that they needed to be doing was getting pregnant. Now, every baby is a blessing. Um, I do wish her a safe pregnancy because she had a bad experience when she was pregnant before. And I do have compassion for her with that. So I could almost understand wanting to. Well, at first she was hesitant, of having kids. And I could kind of understand with them getting back together and wanting to get married, how they ended up pregnant, right? I could understand that. And I do think Trey is a man that will take care of his responsibilities. I don't see him leaving her. He was the one who issued the ultimatum. But I feel like that's the last thing they should have done. If anything, they should have been making sure that they was going to go through with this marriage. Pregnancy was not exactly that. It did not need to happen. Wish them well. I do wish them well. I think they said 2025 they're going to get married in 2025. Okay. No, but married by 2020. Okay, he confirmed that. Wondering if she knew at the reunion. I don't know. When was the reunion filmed? Congratulations to them as a Afro diasporan couple expecting a child. Okay. Um, baby's here in January next year. That's the very last thing they need to do. It's giving Cole, and yes, it is giving them. I forgot. Are they still together? I forgot all about them. She was pregnant at the reunion, big and pregnant. Raya knew Trey was a stand-up guy. She wasn't gonna find that in Atlanta where she wanted to live and work at Hooters. Child, I think she's with Trey for the stability. I truly believe that. And I think that Trey, he has low self-esteem. He said it himself that, growing up, girls didn't really think he was cute. He was shocked when Ryan said he was cute and blushing and all of that. He had never really got much attention from women. I think he thinks that Raya is out of his league and was doing anything he can to keep her. But I don't think that Raya really wants him like that. He got a good job. Exactly. What guy in their 20s has a good job? Exactly. I totally understand her experience. It is sad going through that. Yeah, shout out to all the people that have lost a child through a miscarriage or, something in that nature. I I I can't even imagine. Like, I know that's so difficult to go through. So I could understand wanting to try again. She also said the New York life she talked about on the show, how she evaluated and she doesn't want that anymore. Trey seems like he was looking to fill check boxes in his life and not be an equitable partner to Raya. True, I will say that he does seem like he wanted to just check off some boxes as well. And he didn't even really it seems like he didn't even really take into consideration what Raya wanted. Like, they didn't even have that conversation. You're wanting to get married to this woman, and you didn't even take into consideration. Didn't even ask her what it is that she was looking for in a marriage, what she expected a marriage to look like. Both of them seem like they're too young, and they just need to work on themselves before they give themselves to someone else. Excuse me, y'all. Child, ain't nothing in Atlanta. These men are loose. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. I think Ryan was being nice. He was fishing for compliments. Ryan only got eyes for James. And that's another thing. What do y'all think? Trey kept saying that he caught feelings for Ryan, but Ryan never really said that back. And a lot of people were saying, oh, they look like they would make a cute couple. And even I said that at first. But then after I kept watching and watching, she never really returned the favor towards him. It was always very platonic. And also, let's just be real. Ain't they from the South? I doubt that her family would really accept a black man. He's almost 30, so probably wants to settle down. He wants that big family, so he wants to stay in the country and work on his software job. Then he needs to find a woman that wants that as well, that wants to settle down as well and be the housewife that he wants. Because it feels like Ryan wants to be a city girl. Don't get caught up like old girl with that random man in Atlanta. I know that's right. Exactly. South Carolina. Ryan looked uncomfortable the whole time. And girl, they from South Carolina. These folks got jokes thinking she was gonna run off with Trey. That's what I like when she sat down with her brother and his girlfriend. He barely even wanted to look at Trey. Ryan never returned the affection. I peeped that too. He would clean up at the church house. That's where he needs to go. See, he wants a baddie. He wants an Instagram model. He wants, because shout out to Raya, she's beautiful. But Raya wears club dresses everywhere. He needs to find him a nice, wholesome Southern woman, traditional. Okay. That's what you need. Someone that likes a man. I mean, someone that would appreciate him. because Raya doesn't. She got mad that even though he put out rose petals and tried to do this romantic gesture, that it wasn't Instagram, TikTok content, type of thing. Like she wanted it to be aesthetically pleasing instead of actually appreciating that he took out the time to do that. She wasn't checking for him, but I think he has helped her find her voice. Brother didn't say a word, let his girlfriend do all the talking. Show did I because I was like, at first I thought the girlfriend was her sister, but no, that the brother was her brother. I was just like, he ain't saying nothing. He wants an ego boost. Yes, he gets validation from Raya being an Instagram model. That's a lot of these guys' problem. That's why he needs to grow up. Even though financially, and career-wise, he's mature, he ain't got no self-esteem. And he using Raya to boost it. I totally see that. Raya is too young and seems to still want to experience life. She's only 23. Like, she's only 23. So, I might have given her a hard time, but I don't blame her. Just don't use this man for stability when that's not what you want. You know that's not what you want. They're not compatible. Exactly. Let me go ahead and move on because I can stay on them all day. Lisa, I could not get over how she acted at the reunion. I did not like how she acted because you mad at the wrong person. You want to take it out on a woman. Raya didn't even do anything. And it's plenty of women that would have gave you what you want. But I feel a part of me feels like you came at her like that because you knew she wasn't confrontational. And even at the reunion, she didn't give it to you the way she should have. And you were not apologetic at all. You were doubling down. And even using your pregnancy as an excuse. But still doubling down. Like still like saying you don't regret anything you did. But then now, after the reunion airs, now you want to give an apology? Weak. Zeros across the board. Even though I didn't watch the show, is it wrong to question why he caught feelings for Ryan? I just like someone else in the comments said, I think he just wanted that validation of a pretty woman. All that to not being engaged. Exactly. Not engaged, not married. Lisa baby trapped him, not saying it was intentional, just convenient. Girl, I was thinking, I didn't want to say that because I don't think it was intentional, but I think she definitely thought or is thinking that this is going to keep him in the long run. She definitely showed her tail. Plus, she's probably pregnant then. She's still a baby mama talking about she don't want to be a baby mom forever. I heard she has a 10-year-old. She has another child? First of all, Lisa, she was too old to be acting like that anyway. Me and Lisa the same age. She might be a year older. She was too old to be acting like that. Like, I would never come at a 23-year-old like that. And if a young girl can get my man, she can have him. Like, I ain't no way I'm about to act a fool like that over a man. on TV. And then she put her hands on him and nobody even addressed that. Like, she was dead wrong for that. Not condoning or excusing her behavior at all, but pregnancy hormones are real. Intensifies what you and I look. I don't disagree. Like I believe that. I do. But it's just the fact that she doubled down on it and didn't apologize. Because if that were me, and let's say, because I would never act like that. So if I acted like that and it was straight up pregnancy hormones that pushed me to do that, I would be extremely apologetic. But the fact that she wasn't tells me she probably would have acted like that on any given day. Now, maybe it was a little bit more over the top because of the pregnancy, but she act like that. Because he even said, like, referred to her behavior when he's around other women. He referred to that before all of this even happened and said that she needs to learn how to act. And a baby won't keep him. Exactly. Oh wow, being a baby mama is probably eating her up. Now I see why she was pressing so hard. I heard, now I don't know how true this is, but allegedly their relationship started off as like a friends with benefits thing. So I can completely understand like why she would be a little uncertain, because I just don't think a relationship that starts off like that, I don't know if any trust could ever truly be had, especially with someone that is very jealous and insecure. So to a certain degree, I can kind of understand. And then this man don't want to marry you, but just leave him. Why subject yourself to that? And I don't see why he's subjecting himself to that other than maybe she paying the bills. I don't know. She for real was that wrong for that and should have been enough for him to leave. Exactly. Lisa was blaming it on the hormones. Nah, she act like that anyway. I totally agree. You're right. Even when or if pregnant, you should apologize for bad behavior. Period. And why did he joke and say, "Is the baby mine?" Who says that? He said that on camera. He said that on camera. And then on top of that, he was like, "Well, am I still on the hook for the ultimatum?" That would have been enough for me. That would have been enough for me. We can co-parent, but I'm not playing this game with you, Brian. She literally beat on Brian, and people want to act like it's just pregnancy hormones. And it's so clear she's done that to him before. Yeah, I said that same thing because I'm like, he barely reacted. He barely reacted. He acted like that was normal. Her putting her hands on him was normal because he did not react. Why didn't he leave? He's younger than her too. She literally beat on Brian, and people want to act like, yeah, I read that. Pregnancy announcement followed by a breakup announcement. I missed that. He doesn't want her. Yeah, like no. Look, I'm not trying to act like Brian is an angel, because he probably got some stuff with him too. It's just all of hers is so much louder and so much more clear. She puts it. Why did you come on this show? Because you gonna act a fool with him talking to another woman when the whole show is based around y'all living and having a trial marriage with other people. Imagine how messy this season would have been had she not ended up pregnant. Exactly. They just need to co-parent. But you could tell this is going to be a long, messy ordeal between these two. If he ever leaves her, she ain't going to let that go lightly. And now a child is involved. It's really sad. You're right. Those friends with benefits relationships be toxic when they make it official. I ain't never seen it work. I ain't never seen it work in my real life. Now, maybe it has. I don't know. But people try to make it cute in the media, people try to make stuff cute in the media, but I want to know what's the real behind the scenes conversations. Because I don't see I don't really see there being any real trust there. Their foundation started off sneaky. I'm low-key mad they didn't make it to the trial marriage because they would have gave us the season. This would have been their best season. If she would have not ended up pregnant and they would have made it to the trial marriages, this would have been the best season. He might as well marry her because he will never have peace if he leaves her. That's all I'm saying. Because I don't care if he try to move on. And that's why I'm like, y'all need to be focused on co-parenting because I mean, they still together, child. I don't have nothing else to say about it. I was gonna try to preach a sermon, but no. He just gonna find another friends with benefits. Child, a mess. Let's move on. That's it for the ultimatum. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to Love is Blind at this point. There's not much I have to say about Micah and Zach. Zach, right? He has such a fill in the blank personality. I feel like anybody could be Zach, and Zach could be anybody. But I don't know. Why is she still friends with his mama? Like, why she still talk to his mama? That is so messy, and I would be so irritated by that. Like, y'all are being weird. His mom's being weird. Like, I know you like her and you want him to be with her, but if he's talking to somebody else, don't say anything. Why are you saying anything crazy about who he's talking to in the first place? And why are y'all still in contact with each other, having lunch dates? Why is Micah trying to convince us she was in love with Thank you. Thank you. Micah is in love with Micah and Micah alone. Okay? Micah did not want Paul. And she was not upset when he said no. She was probably relieved, but she loved that she got to play the victim in the situation. So it ended up working out, but she don't care about no Paul. Paul, his name is Paul. Moms that want their sons to marry someone like them, Oedipus complex. Thank you. Thank you. That is so weird. Like, you're too involved. Let's be honest, we're only here for the Browns. I know that's right. I thought I was the only one who didn't believe in Paul and Michael's relationship. Like, no. She was still entertaining Kwame low key. And Paul was low key entertaining Irina. They got to let it go. Micah needs to stop calling that man's mother. Exactly. I would tell her, especially when she act like she's the one that wanted closure. I would have to tell her, okay, well, I'm gonna need for you to stop talking to my mama. Yeah. The whole trajectory of their relationship makes no sense. They dated after the altar long distance. She broke up with him and she moved to Seattle and acting like he was fainting after her. I will say, I do think Paul is still like, I could see him still texting her and still trying to keep something going, even though he doesn't really want to be in a relationship with her, like keeping her hopes up or something. I could see him doing that too. Like, I could see both of them stringing each other along, even though they really don't want to be with each other. That's probably one of the reasons he didn't say yes to Micah. She looks like his mom. And also, I'm sorry, I could not be with a man that said I have no motherly instincts and I'm not nurturing and I wouldn't be a good mother. I couldn't be with a man like that, even though he might be right. I still couldn't be with a man that said that on TV. I wouldn't even be entertaining him, let alone his mama. He do need to check his mama. I agree. Cause I would be checking my mama like, mama, And y'all, not only are y'all still in contact, y'all going on lunch dates. No. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the Browns. I love them. I think they are so cute. It feels so authentic with these two. It feels genuine. Um, it feels like that black love we all love to see on shows like this. Like a decent black man, you know what I'm saying, with a good paying job, okay? A beautiful girl that seems like, she was, looking for the right person and found it. So cute. Love them. Exactly what you want from these kind of shows. Exactly. Oh, Shelby and Irina do look the same. They do. Let me say this. On my review, I was like, why is she still friends with the Regina George girl, Shelby? But then again, I had to remember she is Regina George. Like, they all nasty. They all mean girls. But it just didn't make sense why Shelby was there. Why was she even at the football game? Like, none of that made sense to me. They clearly just brought her around for drama. But anyway, back to the Browns. I really do like them. I just want them to go on with their life. A lot of people are like they need their own show or they should do a YouTube channel. I don't even want that from them. Posting pictures every now and then on social media. I don't even want y'all in that. I want y'all relationship to stay intact. I don't need to know the dirty details. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all together forever. For real. We didn't get enough of Brett and Tiffany. I think Brett and Tiffany, while I love them and I do think that they're cute, their personality, because I don't want it to come off like rude or anything, but they don't just necessarily have the most entertaining personality or relationship, if that makes sense. Like, I love to see it, but I love to, like, in real life, I love to see it in real life, but on TV, it's not necessarily the most compelling. So I could kind of understand how they get lost in the mix sometimes. Um, all they need is a puppy in a backyard, pretty much. I haven't seen The Bachelor this season, but I did hear that it was a black couple, very cute. Unpopular opinion, I like them, but sometimes seem slightly off, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't know. If that's what they wanted, fine, but nah, they just need to be happy and live life. Yeah. No drama. Exactly. And I don't necessarily need drama in order to be entertained, because I love Woody and Amani. And they're not drama. But Woody has like a for those who don't know, I'm talking about Woody and Amani from Married at First Sight. They don't have drama, but their personalities, they have dynamic personalities. Like, I'll watch their YouTube videos. They're like they're funny, they're entertaining. And Brett and Tiffany, while I appreciate them and I love their love, it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're the type of people that I would love to hang out with in real life, though. They're the type of couple that I would love to hang out with them. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like watching them, not necessarily. I do like to see it, because I don't know, y'all. I don't want this to come off wrong, but it's just like, not. I don't want to watch them in that way, if that makes sense. I just want to see them a few times on social media, know that they're still together, know that they're still doing good. Like somebody said, a nice big backyard with a puppy. And I don't want them on TV, low key, because I feel like a lot of times that does break people up, or it brings in drama where they didn't have any. Let's see. I don't need drama at all, but it's in. I haven't seen Love Is Blind Brazil. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it seems more into him than he is with her. I don't necessarily get that, but that's just me. I think it's pretty even. Let me go ahead and move on. I saw somebody earlier say that they can't stand Bliss's voice. I don't know. They are awkward. I don't think they're awkward. I think us watching them is awkward. I don't think that they're awkward to each other, if that makes sense. Like their brand of awkwardness is the same. They love it. And they are cute in their own way. They are cute. I will say, because I do think the love between them is genuine as well. I do. Brett was hilarious mimicking Jackie. Boss up, boss up. That was funny. Annoying and awkward. Oh, you can't change my mind. Oh, you think they're cute? They are. Personally, would I necessarily want to hang out with them? Not necessarily, but I do think that they are cute for each other. They do. Bliss gives me grew up around white people her whole life, for sure. Absolutely. I would be surprised if she ever dated a black man. For sure. And the crazy part is she would be their preference. But she gives kind of like Doja Cat, not as severe, because I feel like Doja Cat, she's hanging out with like white supremacist type of white men. But I think in a way of she more identifies with her white side. Zach is more awkward than anyone, but I think he really loves Bliss. I agree. Zach's loves food, I think, is genuine in its own awkward, quirky way. I agree. She did say she grew up in a white neighborhood. It shows. It shows. The crazy thing is, I grew up in a white neighborhood. I went to a private school, a majority white school, but I also went to a black church and had, was surrounded by black family. So I think that kind of balanced it out. I kind of feel bad for people that it's like that's what they were surrounded by. They didn't really get much of like that black experience because they were engulfed in, people that didn't look like them. So I could totally understand how her preferences could develop from that. I'm glad Bliss gave him another chance after Irina, but Irina wasn't wrong in judging him for picking Irina first in the. I judged him for that. I didn't think it was gonna work, but I mean, shoot, prove me wrong. I'm glad they proved me wrong. I much rather see them work out than not, especially if they really love and care about each other. Like, do she have black friends? I'm asking. I don't know, child. I when I went to her page, I really didn't see that, so I don't know. I feel like couples are incentivized to stir up drama to stay in future seasons. So I'm with you, Brittany. Live in peace. Bliss and Zach, Chelsea and Kwame sharing a room. Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with the couples being friends. I don't see nothing wrong with the couples going on trips together. But two beds in the same room? That's weird. Like, I could see if they got a suite that had two separate rooms and they shared the common area. But them being in the same bedroom with the beds next to each other, that's weird. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody say. That's odd. They're probably swingers. I don't even want to think about that. I don't. Erase that. Delete all that. Bliss gave him another chance after Irina, but Bliss wasn't wrong in judging him for picking Irina first. No. Bliss's mom is black. Oh. Yeah, she is. She is. She is. She is. She is. She is. What is her father? Why would you do that? Just change rooms if you want that. I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but in terms of culture and hobbies, I'm more likely to date a non-black man. I'm a dark skin. Hey, I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see nothing wrong with dating outside of your race. I really don't. I don't, because I know people like Bliss. I know plenty of people that they only date outside of. I have people in my family that they only date outside of their race, men and women. So, oh my goodness, y'all are really thinking they're swingers. I do not want to know if they are or not. Please do not confirm that. I think her dad is Persian or Middle Eastern. That's what I was trying to figure out. Okay, because her mom was white, and so her dad is Persian. Okay. Her mom is black and mixed. So she's a mix. She's a mix. Okay. So if her mom is black and Mexican, then she's a quarter black, quarter Mexican, quarter Persian, quarter white. Okay. So, it is what it is. It is what it is, child. I wasn't judging her for it anyway, but in that instance, do you, girl. But yeah, their relationship, they seem happy. I do think it was a little weird that they were trying to act like they were at a fertility clinic trying to have a baby when really he's just allergic to her dogs. I thought that was a little odd, but oh, was it them who Vanessa and Nick were trying to pressure into having children? Let these people be married for a little while. They just met each other a year ago and got married. They literally have known each other for a year and been married for a year. Like, let them get to know each other. No, I haven't talked about Marshall yet. I've only dated outside of my race once, and it wasn't the best experience. I don't want to judge an entire race off of that one experience, but it wasn't for me. Let's move on to Chelsea and Kwame. They don't give authentic or genuine. Chelsea, look, I can't say too much because Kwame goes along with it, but she's very overbearing. Very overbearing. Like, the man, he can barely get 2 words out without her trying to correct him or tell him how to say it in a better way. Like, it is giving forced. Fantasy, yes. Yes. Fake. Chelsea and Alex. Get it right. I know, right? Someone like Vanessa seems like she pushes for babies due to wanting seeing mixed babies. You think she fetishizes mixed babies? I can see that. Chelsea is a showgirl, is giving Greatest Showman. I would love to be a fly on the wall and see how they act when no cameras are around and they're not putting on a show. Kwame tolerates Chelsea. I hated how she had him tell that story. Girl, when I tell you I was so thrown off when she was like, "Oh yeah, Kwame, tell a story about when you first had jollof rice." Like, it was like this funny little anecdote. When it turns out that was like a completely traumatizing thing he went through in his life. Basically meeting his parents for the first time, and after not knowing them for the first 8 years of his life. And she was just like, yeah, just tell that. Like, the look on his sister's face was like almost like she went back to that place and she was just trying to hold it together. It was like, that was crazy that she was just like, yeah, just tell that story. I almost wanted to shed a tear because it was so devastating. And honestly, I would love to hear, it made me want to hear more about Kwame's life and growing up and his story in general, because it kind of it kind of explains a little bit of why he is the way he is. Not saying, being anti-black is cool or whatever, but it 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 makes sense why he didn't really identify with his blackness, why when he came over here he just maybe completely immersed himself in, you know um what he was surrounded by, because his childhood was so like shaky and unstable, and he didn't have his parents, and maybe he was just trying to hold on to something. He wanted to fit in, and he wanted to maybe like create his own relationships outside of family because he wasn't necessarily close with his parents. I don't know, that you could really do a deep dive on that, and she was just like, "Oh, tell that story." Very culturally unaware and insensitive. Kwame really seemed like he loves her. They both give Kwame never seemed like he loved her. They both give off fetishizing vibes. Exactly. And one thing I forgot to mention in my review is that he originally wanted um Micah. So he really didn't even want her in the first place. So it does give fetishizing. I didn't watch, but what happened with the jollof rice? Basically, it was a story of, let me see, did anybody explain it? Because I sometimes when I basically when he first met, why am I not having a hard time telling this? So basically, he was raised by his uncle, him and his siblings. He didn't know, the last time he saw his parents was when he was 6 months old. So he doesn't remember that. They ended up having to come to America, and they came there alone. And when he first met his mother at the airport, he didn't even know who she was. She picked him up and was like hugging him and squeezing him and talking about how much she loved him. But to him, that was a stranger. He didn't even know what she looked like. And so, like, his first time having jollof rice was right after that in the car, and he said it was good. But it's like, yeah, there was a whole traumatizing story that led up to that. Also, what perception is she trying to share with her family of him with that storytelling? Exactly. I was confused because I didn't understand why she was so excited for Kwame to share that devastating story. Exactly, me either. Chelsea looked like she put some raisins in dried cranberry in jollof. Yes, I want to know more about no. Yes, I want to know more because we didn't get enough. Also, the continental Africans love to preach assimilation. True, that's true. Again, what was the point of sharing that story? Child, if she would dare put some raisins in jollof. I wonder if they didn't call to check on him. Kwame is not old. Yeah, I wondered the same thing. Like, what? There was no contact at all. That's why I'm saying I want to know more about it. What happened? Can someone help me understand why that was his first time having jollof rice in the U.S.? There was so many plot holes. I do want to know what was going on with that. And then she told the story of meeting his mom for the first time, and she had written this long note talking about, thank you for raising my son. Side note, I always think that's really weird when women thank the mothers, like they go overboard with the, oh, I thank you so much for raising your son, and now this is my husband. And when women go overboard with that is so weird to me. Like, maybe saying, yeah, you raised a good man. You raised a good man. But when they're like, oh, thank you so much for raising him, and now I have him, it's weird to me when women do that. Anyway, she wrote a letter talking about how much she thanked the mother for raising him. And she said the mother took the letter in the room and closed the door. And I'm like, so did she come out? Did y'all ever have a conversation after that? Like, what is your relationship now? Like, I left with more questions than answers. And it sounded like the mama's still not here for Chelsea or him getting married to Chelsea or whatever, however the mom feels. But it just like that didn't sound like it ended well. Child is giving baby boy. Exactly. All these men, I mean, all these people this season got some weird family members. Exactly. I was so thrown off. That whole letter story sounded like she was sucking up and nothing came of it. Exactly. It sounded like she was trying to make a moment with the mother and the mother didn't give it to her. Did you know Chelsea helped cast people for this upcoming? Why? Why? If anybody, it should be Brett and Tiffany. Ugh. She didn't read that letter. Exactly. I was working, I was at work watching it and literally almost fell out of my seat when he said yes. Yes, she's now part of the production. I don't like it. Chelsea of all people? Right, because why she went in the room? Why was she hiding? I would, if anything, if I did, if I met my husband's mother for the first time and I gave her a letter expressing feelings, whatever, and the woman went in the room and never came out, I would not look at that as a good first meeting. I would be low key like, is it something I said? Like, I wouldn't feel like that ended well. I wouldn't even tell the story. I would be a little embarrassed. The other question is Chelsea doesn't have any PTO or vacation days. That's my other thing. Girl, this man want to go on a trip. He does everything that you want him to do. He done moved for you. He easily assimilated into your life. The least you could do is go on some trips with him, because that's the only time he let that mask go. When they started talking about not going on trips, his face completely dropped. I feel like that's when we really got to see the real Kwame and how he really feels about that relationship. Because he did not look happy. He looked miserable when she was saying that. She's a part of the production team. I thought she was a nurse. I didn't know she was a nurse. Mom went into the bathroom and wasn't reading that letter. Okay, she probably flushed it down the toilet. Chelsea is overbearing and self-serving. That letter was performative. Should be some sensitivity training on set for situations like this. Seriously. Don't Chelsea have a job? Why does she need to be a part of the production team? Chelsea is giving Jezebel and Kwame is giving a hell. Not the biblical references, but it's accurate. He gonna learn today. He looks down and out for real. Like, he looks so dejected. They clearly went somewhere with Bliss and Zach. True, but I feel like whatever they're doing with Bliss and Zach is probably work. They're probably, it's probably some sort of promotional thing, or they're getting paid from it. Does Kwame know he's a bad actor? They're the only couple I don't believe will stay married. Mama knows it won't last and won't waste her time reading that letter, child. Kwame needs to stand up. I know that. You need to put your foot down. But as soon as he does that, I don't think that relationship gonna last. But I think he's gonna do it at some point. But I definitely, I don't like to wish bad on people's relationship. I hope they prove me wrong. I wish them the best. But just based off of their incompatibility and her insensitivity and her demanding nature, I just don't see it working. Mama always knows. At least he isn't an SK. I'm still not over SK and how dirty he did everybody. She won't even let him talk. Exactly. All right, guys, I'm going ahead and move on because I can stay on them all night. What do y'all think about Marshall? I think the girlfriend is cute. She looks way too much like Tiffany for comfort. Why does she look so much like Tiffany? Because when they got next to each other, I'm like, they could definitely be sisters. I love that she's intelligent. I love that she's a doctor. Cute. I hope they make it. Marshall is giving fake. Marshall is giving a little fake. I ain't gonna lie. He is. I don't get authentic from him. Uh, I think he's nuts. I don't believe nothing he says, not one bit. Between SK, Chris from Ready to Love, child. Okay, they giving Nigerian men a bad name, child. Just like Bliss side eye Zach for Irina, I'm side eyeing Marshall for Jackie. One thing I didn't explore in my reviews, I really don't like the way he did the Kasha girl. Even though I think the Kasha girl is like, okay, I think she came on to, she came on here being messy a little bit. But he probably did run to her and she was a shoulder to cry on after that whole thing happened with Jackie. Maybe he was trying to get back at Jackie. I don't know. Maybe he was trying to use Kasha for that. But he did try to reduce their relationship down to one date when I probably could see it being a little bit more than that, especially since, it was between her and Jackie in the pods and he ended up choosing Jackie. And then when it didn't work out with Jackie, he ran to her. Um, Also, Marshall has already turned me off with those anti-black woman tweets. He did apologize for them, but at first I feel like he was kind of doubling down and then he apologized. So whereas I was rooting for Marshall, now I'm indifferent towards Marshall. And somebody brought up spicy Latina. It does seem like he wanted a spicy Latina and it bit you in the butt. And then that whole scene of him and Jackie apologizing to each other. Yeah. So for the girl's sake, for his girlfriend's sake, I hope he's being genuine. I hope he I hope they last. I hope they make it whatever. But if he's not, I hope she sees the light and gets out. So he's funny. He shares too much, but he's funny. I hope another woman sees. Marshall, I wish him the best from afar. The girlfriend is cute, but his previous tweets and dating other cast members just came off kind of wrong. Totally agree. I totally agree. That sums it all up for me, pretty much. Will you review the next Love is Blind? I definitely am reviewing the next Love is Blind. And I don't know about Too Hot to Handle. That show's a little bit too vapid for me. And I can get into some. I was watching Love Island this summer, so it ain't about that. But it's just I'm trying not to sleep with people. I'm like, okay, ugh, that's a little gutter butt for me. Um, okay, I'm that's it for Marshall. They're perfect for each other. he doesn't have a loving romantic bone in his body. So childish. The way he talks to her, you would think he was talking to his homie. But see, she liked that because Marshall was trying to be romantic and she didn't like that. She thought that made him soft. But you want somebody to talk to you crazy. You want somebody that'll treat you like you ain't nothing. They weren't even acting genuine. Like they didn't. Are you for them to have been together a full year? They act like they just met each other. All that awkward conversation, it just didn't make any sense. They're a perfect storm. Toxic. She's used to toxicity and mess. Both she really needs to heal. Truly. Truly. They wanted to know, are you gonna review the cast of Love and Blind? Oh, they have the cast list up. I might do that, y'all. I might do that. I'm gonna have to go look that up. Okay, my bad. My bad. I think I might just do that because I do need more content. So yeah, I'll do that. I might do a live and we can all talk about it together. Josh negged her the whole time, showing her zero affection, and it was like a 10-year-old boy pulling a girl's hair because he likes her. That. Exactly. That explained it perfectly. Yes. It was so weird. And these people, aren't they in their 30s? Well, at least their late 20s. Like, grow up. He was acting like a middle school boy on his first day. Yes. It didn't even feel like they knew each other like that. Aren't they living together? Why did it feel so uncomfortable and awkward? Jackie needs a fish, not a man. Not even a partner, but a fish. I don't believe they love each other. I don't either. I think at this point they're just trying to prove the world wrong. I want them off my screen. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it live, Janelle. Jackie was waiting for him outside too. Yeah. Okay. I gotta see this, Carter. They only stay together to prove people. Yeah. The negging and the mistreatment must be some sort of turn off for Jack. It has to be, but that has to come from trauma. It has to. He's so immature and emotionally stunted. Totally agree. And what was this whole situation with Morgan? Y'all, I just didn't understand what the big deal was. Now, one thing I could understand is Jackie not being friends with Morgan anymore. I understood where Morgan was coming from, saying, friends are forever. This man, this relationship might not even last, but I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be your friend. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand that. But also I can understand Jackie not wanting to be friends with someone that your ex, you're his ex. Like I can understand why but I think he's doing it because he wants to isolate Jackie low key. I think he wants to isolate her. But I can understand her not being cool or cutting off that friendship because you're his ex. What I didn't like is how she handled it. You need to be a woman and tell her why. You need to be honest and just say what it is, because you just sitting there crying and I don't know, and but then in the confessionals you big and bad. That's what I don't respect. And then on top of that, you have him come over here and go off on her and call her all types of clout chasers and yelling and screaming, and it was just too much. And that was supposed to be your friend. You allowed that to happen and you walk out. You don't even check him about it, even behind the scenes. Like, yeah, I guess maybe be united front, whatever. But do you even check him behind the scenes for how he acts? You would think after he broke it off his engagement in the same fashion you did, that you would want to see that as a sign. Y'all talking about these other people. He's no better than him. She's no better than him. And that was a whole thing with Monica and Morgan was stupid. Oh, what's her name? Monica. Am I calling her the wrong name? Why was he calling her a cloud? Exactly. So she can't tell her story. Also, another thing I want to know, why does Love is Blind, like, why don't they show all the couples that decided to get engaged? Why are we only seeing like 4 or 5 couples? Why can't we see everybody that gets engaged? And I know some people probably would only get engaged in order to just be on the show, but I don't know. I just think it's weird that they pick and choose who to feature. They all stringing each other along. There's a Nigerian woman on the new season's cast. Okay. I wonder if the cast knew if they were going to be on camera or not. I wonder. I wonder. It must be so many love triangles. Gotta be. I feel like I don't know. I just would like I feel like that would have been interesting to see them actually make it and then have to mingle with the other couples and just would Jackie and him would they have ended up together still? Like, I don't know. Yes, I don't know why they don't show all the engagements. Why can't we circle back to the pods? Exactly. Because those are the ones that go on the honeymoon. But it seems like they pick and choose the ones that go on the honeymoon too. I think it's important for African representatives. We just need better representatives of African men. I agree. Because I haven't seen the best representation on these shows. I just saw the cast and you could tell Chelsea had a say in who was picked. Girl, I can't wait to look. If it ain't about the money or whatever Netflix said, yeah, it's probably a money issue. Now that you say it. All right, you guys. Make sure you like the video. I've been on here for an hour and a half. Y'all, I didn't mean to be on here that long. I really didn't, but it's always a good time talking with you guys. This was fun. I think I might come back tomorrow and we could do like a little casting special for the new Love is Blind. Now that y'all told me, I didn't know that they released the cast, but I think I might do that tomorrow. I'll put up a little reminder tomorrow if I do decide to do it. Um if I do it tomorrow, it'll be tomorrow evening around like 7, 8ish. Um the longer the better. Girl, sometimes I get on here, we get carried away, child. It'd be fun. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Um, and yeah, shout out to everybody. Make sure you shop LabitaRosaStyle.com and make sure you check out my Love is Blind reviews if you haven't seen them. Check out my Ultimatum reviews. Um, and yeah. Oh yeah, I want to tell y'all, I'm gonna be reviewing the show called The Love Experiment. I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but it's a new dating show on MTV. It's 3 beautiful black women, and they're, you know, I love that the women are in charge. They get to choose from the men, and it's really good, y'all. If y'all haven't seen it, watch it or make sure y'all check out my reviews. It's good. It's good. I'm going to be talking about that soon as well. So yeah, I will see you later.